Your child is your karma, a spiritual journey inspired by Paramahansa Yogananda. Every time a child is born into a family, the world seems to stop for an instant. Parents hold the baby in their arms, watch them sleep, listen to their breathing, and in the midst of the emotion, they ask questions that go beyond the ordinary. Why did this being come to me? What secret bond unites us from before time? Why do I feel I have known them forever, even though they have just arrived? Yogananda taught that nothing in life is a coincidence, and even less so the arrival of a child. It is not simply the result of biology nor a random stroke of genetics. It is a profound agreement between souls. Your child is part of your karma, not as punishment, but as a mirror that shows you who you are and as a companion that pushes you to grow. When a parent understands this, parenting becomes a school of love and transformation. Every smile, every tear, every challenge is a lesson that life designed so that both parent and child awaken to a higher level of consciousness. The word karma is often misunderstood as punishment or rigid destiny. But in Yogananda's vision, karma simply means action and consequence. It is the law of cause and effect that guides the learning of souls across many lives. Every encounter, every relationship is the fruit of seeds planted in the past. If today your child is in your life, it is because at some point in the eternal journey of your existences, there was a connection, perhaps as a companion, as a teacher, as someone you hurt, or someone who offered you help. In this life, the relationship returns to balance, to heal, to deepen love, and to continue evolving. It is not about asking, what did I do wrong to deserve this child? But rather, what hidden lesson does this child bring me? What virtues can I cultivate thanks to them? What wounds can I heal in this sacred bond? A simple example. An impatient child may teach his mother the virtue of calm. A sensitive daughter may open in her father the doorway to tenderness. A rebellious teenager may force parents to learn to listen without judging. Every trait of the child touches a dormant fiber in the parents' hearts. Imagine life as a great school. In it, every person plays a role. Some are classmates, others temporary teachers, others inspire with their example. Children, in this metaphor, are compulsory subjects for parents. No parent can change the course or choose another teacher. The only way out is to learn the lesson. That lesson is not always easy. Sometimes it manifests in sleepless nights, in illnesses that demand patience, in difficult questions that test our beliefs, in clashes of character that strip bare impatience or pride. But it is precisely there that the hidden gold lies. Karma does not come to punish you, but to remind you of the greatness you can achieve. Yogananda said that life is a training ground for the soul. The family is the most intense gym. Their patience, compassion, faith, humility, and true love are tested. Before being born, the soul of your child sought a place to continue its learning. It did not choose just any family. It chose yours. Your energy, your character, your history, your virtues, and even your flaws form part of the stage that its soul needed to advance. And the same happens the other way around. You, as a father or mother, needed that child to awaken something dormant in you. No relationship is as intense and transformative as that of a parent with their child. That bond was woven long before the mind could remember it. In yoga tradition, it is said that before incarnating, souls gather as in a great cosmic theater, and there they agree on roles. In the next life, you will be my mother. I will be your child. You will teach me patience. I will show you compassion. When we understand this, life ceases to appear chaotic and begins to reveal itself as a plan full of meaning. Many times we believe that children inherit our physical or emotional characteristics. But beyond genetics, what really happens is a reflection of consciousness. The child shows us what we are, both what we love about ourselves and what we have not wanted to recognize. A perfectionist father may discover that his child is messy and feel despair. In reality, the child is showing the father's inner rigidity and offering him the chance to let go. A fearful mother may have a daring child who challenges limits. The child forces her to confront her fears and expand her trust. Thus, the child is like a living mirror. It reflects, amplifies, and transforms. When we accept that function, the relationship stops being a struggle and becomes a dance. When a relationship is difficult, the opportunity to heal. There are parents who feel pain because their relationship with their children is not what they dreamed of. Constant arguments, emotional distance, life choices they do not understand. From the perspective of karma, these tensions are not mistakes. They are ancient knots that have returned to be untied. Imagine that in another life, there was a wound between you, an abandonment, a betrayal, a debt of love. Now life gives you another opportunity to forgive, to understand, and to release. If the bond is tense, do not run away. See it as the most powerful laboratory of your soul. Forgiving does not mean accepting abuse or giving up healthy boundaries. It means choosing inner peace instead of permanent war. Raising a difficult child can be the highest initiation of a parent. It forces them to find a patience they never knew, to discover new emotional resources, to become more compassionate with themselves and with others. Yogananda said that sometimes children come not to be shaped by the parents, but to teach them. A child may have such great spiritual sensitivity that, without words, they elevate the whole family. A child's smile can heal a parent's exhaustion after a whole day of work. A gesture of tenderness can tear down inner walls that years of discipline could not touch. In India, there is the story of sage who, asked about who his teacher was, replied, "My teacher was my son. He showed me that infinite patience and unconditional love are more transformative than 1,000 sacred books." When we look at children in this way, we stop imposing what we want them to be, and we start to discover who they truly are. Education then becomes accompanying, supporting, and guiding without extinguishing the inner light they already carry. A practical teaching of Yogananda consisted of looking into your child's eyes in silence for a few seconds a day and trying to see beyond the form, to see the soul. That simple gesture, repeated daily, transforms the relationship. The child feels seen in their essence, not only in their behavior. And the parent remembers again and again that they're dealing with a divine being in the process of awakening. You can try it right now. Look at your child when they're sleeping or when they are calm, and in your mind repeat, "You are not only my child, you are an eternal soul. Thank you for choosing me as your travel companion." That small act changes the vibration of the entire home. Finally, the central message of Yogananda is that the bond with children is training for unconditional love. To love without expecting, to serve without demanding, to accompany without controlling. It is not easy. Our human mind wants recognition, obedience results. But every time we manage to love without conditions, we break chains of old karma and come a little closer to the freedom of the soul. Unconditional love does not mean the absence of discipline. It means discipline with respect, limits with care, firm words with tenderness. It means remembering that, deep down, we are all learning, and that our children did not come to fulfill our expectations, but to unfold their own destiny. When a child comes with special needs, sensitivities out of the ordinary, or health challenges that demand constant presence, the hearts of the parents expand in a way that few things in life can provoke. It is a path that demands strength, surrender, and faith. And at the same time, it reveals a depth of love that, without that child, might never have blossomed. Yogananda pointed out that many very advanced souls choose difficult lives because they want to learn faster, to serve more intensely, and to purify their karma more deeply. It is not weakness, it is courage of the soul. Likewise, the parents who receive them have also been spiritually chosen. Their mission involves sustaining, accompanying, learning, and above all, loving without conditions. In practice, this means renouncing comparisons. Why is my child not like the others? And embracing with reverence the uniqueness of their own destiny. Compassion toward oneself is crucial. No one can give from an empty vessel. Caring for the caregiver is caring for the child. Setting aside moments of silence, asking for help from family or community, and resting deeply whenever possible is not selfishness but wisdom. Selfless service, seva, so valued in the yoga tradition, begins at home, preparing a meal with love, cleaning a room as if it were an altar, helping to get dressed with patience. Everything can become prayer in motion. When the heart serves, ordinary life becomes sacred. Adolescence is an alchemical fire. The young person seeks identity, autonomy, meaning, and the home becomes a laboratory of responsible freedom. From the perspective of karma, it is not a problematic period but a stage where the lessons agreed upon between souls emerge. Limits, trust, truthfulness, mutual respect. Yogananda insisted that true love is neither indulgence nor control. It is firm guidance with a compassionate spirit. Parents can practice the art of loving boundaries, saying yes when the soul feels it is right, and no when the conscience knows it is necessary, without guilt or aggression. Technology adds a new chapter to family karma. Social networks and video games are not enemies in themselves. They are mirrors that amplify inner tendencies. Search for approval, escape comparison. Instead of demonizing them, it is better to educate in awareness. What do I feel after an hour in front of the screen? Does it bring me closer to my purpose or distract me? What type of content elevates my mind and which one clouds it? Establishing self-esteem rituals outside the screen, sports, art, music, inspiring reading, contact with nature, helps the adolescent experience states of fulfillment that do not depend on digital dopamine. A powerful practice is to agree as a family on windows of technological silence. For example, the first hour of the morning and the last hour of the night without screens, replaced by short meditation, conscious breathing, or authentic conversation. Honest dialogue is the great medicine. Listening without interrupting, asking before giving advice, taking an interest in the young person's inner world, and validating their emotions does not mean agreeing with everything. It means recognizing their humanity. When a teenager feels seen in their truth, their rebellion loses violence and becomes a creative search. Remember, the soul does not want to be extinguished. It wants to be guided to its own light. The time comes when children leave home, or even if they remain physically, they're already inwardly adults. The soul of the parents must practice one of the finest disciplines of love, letting go. Yogananda said that attachment is a form of fear. True love trusts God as the real father-mother. Letting go is not neglect. It is moving from control to blessing, from anxiety to prayer, from compulsive opinion to silent presence. Many relationships between parents and adult children heal when advice becomes requested. Do you want my opinion? An intrusion turns into respect. I trust your judgment. If you need me, I am here. This shift opens a space of dignity where wisdom can flourish in both directions. In the so-called empty nest, consciousness reorients itself. Life invites parents to remember their own talents, to renew their sadhana, spiritual practice, to serve the community, to cultivate deep friendships. That turn is not selfishness, it is evolution. A spiritually alive father or mother becomes a lighthouse for the children, even from a distance. Trust is a form of love that nourishes without suffocating. Complex scenarios and how to approach them with awareness. Co-parenting and separation. When mom and dad do not live together, spirituality demands an act of maturity, placing the well-being of the child above the ego. Hurtful words between adults create karmic knots in young hearts. Practicing nonviolent communication, agreeing on consistent routines, and maintaining similar boundaries in both homes reduces emotional chaos. If the wounds are deep, prayer and forgiveness. Even if it does not mean intimate reconciliation, cut invisible chains. Blended families, new partners, step-siblings, hybrid households. Here the mantra is patience. Trust cannot be demanded. It is cultivated with predictable gestures, respect for each person's pace, and small rituals of unity, shared meals, outings, cooperative games. Do not force instant love. Create conditions for affection to sprout like a plant. silence, time, and care. Differences in beliefs. If your child does not share your faith, avoid turning spirituality into a battlefield. Yogananda taught that truth defends itself with its own light. Live your values with joy. Example attracts more than preaching. Offer bridges, devotional music that uplifts, short, inspiring readings, contemplative walks. Beauty prepares the heart for truth. Vocation and social pressure. Some children choose paths that frighten parents: art, travel, unconventional professions. Remember, the Dharma, purpose, of the soul does not always coincide with external security. Accompany with financial and emotional prudence, but do not extinguish the vocational fire. The world needs ignited souls. Grief and loss. The hardest experience, losing a child. There are no sufficient words. The yogi tradition remains in reverent silence. Pain is not denied, is embraced with compassion. If you can, transform love into service to other lives, into living memory. Yogananda said the soul is immortal. Farewells are, from eternity, changes of room. Cry when you must cry, and when the wave allows you to breathe, pray for their peace and speak with them in the temple of your heart. Spiritual practices for fathers and mothers. To bring understanding into the muscles of daily life. Here is a map of practices inspired by Yogananda's teachings. You do not need to do them all at once. Choose 2 or 3 and be consistent. Morning anchor in 3 steps. Comfortable posture and straight spine. 12 deep breaths, equal in inhalation and exhalation, observing the heart. Visualize your child wrapped in golden light. Mentally say, "You are a free soul. May your day be guided by wisdom." Feel gratitude. Conscious affirmations. Words are forces. Repeat 3 to 5 times in a low voice. Today I respond with love. I am a guide and also a learner. I trust my child's life. I trust the life in me. Shared silence. Propose 5 minutes a day of total silence at home. No screens, no tasks. Breathing, looking out the window, listening to sounds. Family silence creates invisible roots. Gratitude rituals before eating. 1 minute to thank and mentally bless all beings who made the food possible. Children learn to revere life when they see us giving thanks. Weekly karmic journal. A notebook where you write, what I learned from my child, what I need to transform, a gesture of love I will do this week. Reread each month and observe your evolution. Active forgiveness. Write a letter, which you may not send, to your child or to yourself. Name the wound and recognize the learning. Repeat mentally, I forgive you. I forgive myself. I choose peace. Then carefully burn the paper as a symbol of release. Conscious service. Choose with your child an act of service. Helping a neighbor, collaborating in a soup kitchen, caring for a forest. Serving together dissolves ego and unites souls. Sacred digital hygiene. Define screen-free times, first hour of the day and last hour of the night. Replace them with inspiring reading, breathing, stretching, uplifting music. Protect the mind from toxic inputs. Contemplative walks. Go for a walk in silence with your child, without long explanations or moral lessons. The landscape does the work. The soul breathes. Nightly examination of conscience. Where did I react from fear? Where did I respond from love? What will I do differently tomorrow? Offer the day to the presence and sleep in peace. Prayer for wisdom. Divine Father, Mother, teach me to see my child's soul and to be an instrument of your peace. Music and mantras. 1 devotional song a day changes the atmosphere of the home. You can invite the child to choose the music that feels good to the heart. Simple altar at home. A candle, a flower, an image that uplifts you. It is not superstition. It is a visual reminder of purpose. Light it in moments of tension to remember who you are. Soulful Sunday. Once a week, 1 hour without worldly tasks. Reading an inspiring text, sharing learnings, giving thanks for the week, and blessing the next. We live immersed in an economy of attention. Algorithms are not bad. They are mirrors of our preferences. But if we do not choose consciously, they choose for us. Educating children to discern between content that uplifts and content that drains is a modern form of spiritual practice. Key questions: what do I feel when this ends? Does it inspire me to serve, love, learn? Or does it leave me restless and empty? In an awakened family, everyone becomes a curator of their own mind. Digital freedom without a compass is false freedom. True freedom is choosing what makes us more human. Parables for the heart. The lamp and the wind. A father tries to protect the flame of a lamp from the wind, covering it with his hand. In his eagerness, he extinguishes the flame for lack of oxygen. A sage tells him, "Do not cover it. Create a shelter that lets it breathe." So it is with children. Protecting is not suffocating. It is creating conditions for the flame to live on its own. The garden and the seasons. A beautiful garden does not bloom by force of will, but with constant care, respect for the seasons, timely watering, and loving pruning. The souls of our children also have seasons. There are springs of enthusiasm, summers of expansion, autumns of introspection, and winters of silence. Honoring rhythms prevents us from demanding flowers out of season. Close the eyes of the mind and bring attention to the center of the chest. Imagine that there's a soft light there that beats in rhythm with your breathing. With each inhalation, that light grows. With each exhalation, it expands. In front of you appears your child, not as you see them daily, but as a luminous being. Observe their face of light and say inwardly, "I recognize your soul. Thank you for choosing me." Remember a moment of shared joy and allow gratitude to moisten your inner eyes. Now recall a difficult situation and say with firm love, "I choose to learn from this. I choose to respond with patience." Feel resentment dissolve like ice in the sun. Take them in your mind to a beautiful place, a beach, a mountain, a forest. Walk together in silence. Say to them, "I accompany you, but I do not possess you. I guide you, but I do not control you. I trust in your destiny and in the life that sustains you." Visualize both of you sitting by a clear stream. The water represents the passing of time. Place in the water a leaf that symbolizes your fears and release it. Watch it drift away. Place another leaf that symbolizes your rigid expectations and release it too. Finally, place a leaf that represents your love and see how it does not drift away. It stays floating beside you because true love is not lost when control is released. Feel peace. Bring your hands from your heart to your forehead as one who blesses. Repeat inwardly, "May wisdom guide me. May love move me. May peace dwell within me. May I be an instrument of good in my child's life." Breathe deeply and engrave this promise into your consciousness. Having arrived here, perhaps you can now feel within yourself the deep meaning of that phrase, Yogananda. Your child is your karma, not as condemnation, but as a path. Not as a chain, but as a bridge. A bridge toward your best version, toward your most expansive heart, toward God as the source of all love. Raising a child is a spiritual privilege. Cultivating consciousness in the midst of modern life is a form of silent, powerful, everyday yoga. May this understanding serve you as a compass when fatigue visits you, as fire when indifference stalks you, and as a breeze when fear wants to rule. May you remember, again and again, that you are not alone. Life, grace, accompany you. Every day is a new possibility to respond with love. And every time you choose love, an old karmic thread turns into light. If this teaching moved something in your heart and helped you to look at your child with the eyes of the soul, turn that gratitude into action. Practice today a simple gesture, attentive listening, and offered forgiveness, a shared laugh, a thank you for existing. Authentic spirituality is a succession of small acts sustained by a great intention. May your home be a school of peace. May your words be bridges. May your silences be refuges. May your trust be the climate in which your child learns to bloom. And when you doubt, return to the center, breathe, bless, trust. Because ultimately, what educates is not what we say, but what we are. May your heart remain open, your soul strong, and your love always unconditional. Jai Gurudev. If this message touched your heart and helped you to better understand the journey with your child, remembering that they are part of your karma and your spiritual growth, support our work with a super thanks so that we can continue creating transformative content with themes that inspire, help people, and bring more light to each life. Do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if it resonates with you, and share it with your friends so that our message can reach where it is needed.